What's going on, guys? ShadowNinja here, and today I want to make a video talking about when things are getting too easy in the world of Destiny. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because, this recent raid came out, and a lot of people do enjoy the aesthetic, the narrative for this raid, but they do feel like it's too easy, and there's a whole big debate going on whether things should be easy, whether things should be hard, what should be hard, etc. Now, it's important to mention I have yet to play this raid, and you may be wondering, why am I making this video if I have yet to play this raid? Well, I have a very neutral opinion about this whole matter, and I kind of want to break down what I think is acceptable and where people are right to be upset. And also, too, I have a game design degree. It's one of my 2 degrees, so I feel like I can objectively really get into the details of, explaining why things could be X, Y, and Z. So with that being said, let's talk about skill in Destiny 2 when it comes to completing activities. Now, skill in this regard isn't talking about PvP specifically. We're talking about PvE activities. So we're talking nightfalls, we're talking raids, we're talking strikes, things like that, as well as the fact that there's rewards to these activities. We're talking weapons, armors, things like that. Now, in a looter shooter, it's always a fair balance to have rewards, very powerful rewards, side with very powerful, hard activities. So whether that's a raid or a nightfall, you get something out of it and the player feels rewarded. Therefore, they want to go back and play it again. This is something Destiny's been really, really good at for a while, but at times it has forgotten this method. Now, Crota, the Dark Below in Destiny 1, that was an extremely beyond easy raid to do. Compared to Vault of Glass, that was extremely easy, and I will admit, that's probably the easiest raid I've ever done, but this new raid comes along, and it kind of gives people vibes of Crota. Now, unfortunately, Bungie, I guess, didn't see the problem with the Crota raid, even though the Crota raid was pretty good, it was pretty intense, things like that, but it was easy, it was short, you could speedrun it, things like that. This one seems like you kind of can't, but the time it takes to complete it versus the skill it takes to, do it versus the rewards, they don't really feel too in line compared to, let's say, the Vault of Glass. I think the Vault of Glass is the gold standard of any raid because it's just really, really phenomenal. Or the King's Court raid, Orcs raid, that's pretty good as well. So Bungie needs to do a better job. I will admit that these raids, I get, should be to a degree catered to everybody, but to complete this, it takes an extreme amount of practice to learn the tactics, strategies to complete each area. It takes time to grind yourself up to this power level, as well as just takes patience when working with other people. There's a lot of criteria to complete a raid, and this is what makes Destiny, in my opinion, the best. When raids are at its greatest, it is definitely something to remember because you got that activity to do things week by week, grind with the boys, get some awesome rewards, scream, shout, cry because you didn't get this, or scream in joy because you got that, things like that. That's something that's been really good in the world of Destiny. But so far from what I've seen, this raid doesn't bring that, even though there are some very powerful rewards from this. But people feel like the rewards are too powerful for something that was too easy to complete. Maybe Guardians are just getting really, really good at Destiny now, and Bungie needs to find ways to amp it up. But I do think that Bungie, maybe right now they need to make sure they add a lot more modifiers to make this raid a little bit more complex and harder to complete, and give better rewards in terms of lining them up. So like maybe you have a common chance of finding these weapons or things like that. Like make it a little bit more common to find higher stat rolled armor, things like that. Give players incentives to play. Now, my personal belief is that about 90% of the content, the world pool in Destiny, should be achievable through any activity, easy activities, hard activities, whatever. They should definitely be in the pool of being achievable despite your skill. However, 10%, which in Destiny is a good bit of content, needs to be held behind a high skilled activity wall. So what I mean by that is, how adaptive weapons for trials, even though trials is kind of in a horrendous state because of everything with cheaters and stasis and things like that, but like that's a good start because you have the adept versions of these adept versions. I don't know why I was saying it like that. The adept versions of these weapons that were in trials, and they have modifiers that even do +10 to stats. Like there is some significance value to this in PvP specifically. So if you're a PvP player, you have some hard things to do in order to get these weapons. Granted, we do wish the process was a little bit more smoother and it actually was as good as it was in Destiny 1, but yeah, can't live in a perfect world apparently. So activities that should be hard to complete on default and require a lot of time and patience to do, Grandmaster Nightfalls and I do think they need to up the rewards a little bit. Raids, obviously, like I said, you know, maybe they should definitely do a new strike playlist, something a little bit more harder, like kind of in between Nightfall and Grandmaster, like something that you can core playlist, have a challenge with, and get, you know, very powerful stuff like materials, things like that. Something where, you know, you're not just playing to play. Like, I love doing strikes, but it's too simple at this point. It's really too simple. I do think there needs to be a higher tier that is a, you know, a daily activity you can do, and you can get, you know, materials, you can get shards, legendary shards, not ascendant shards. You can do stuff that's a really hard challenge modifier, like, you know, stuff that's just random, and you have to complete the strike. I think that would be a good way to reunite the strike playlist, make it a little bit more challenging and a little bit more rewarding. PvP side, I don't really know. That's not really something I would think. I mean, they have trials, but it's a little bit all over the place, so it is what that is. Gambit, I do think they need to re-evaluate Gambit and make rewards better, because Gambit's an awesome mode. I love it, but there's just not much to it. There's really not much for me playing Gambit. It's kind of a waste of time, honestly. If you just complete the bounties, you go about your day, and that's it. It's pretty much a waste of time, and that's pretty unfortunate from what I think is the best mode in Destiny 2 right now. But yeah, with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that, you know, people have the right to be upset if things are becoming too easy? I think they entirely do. I think there needs to be some form of skill versus rewards, because if you mess up this category, you really alienate the hardcore of the community, and a lot of people are hardcore. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely drop this video a like and subscribe for more Destiny 2 content along the way. With that being said, that's all I got for this one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.